don't know which way is west.
Over the past 50 years, 3,000 ships and 100 planes have gone missing in a mysterious stretch of water in the Atlantic Ocean.
Ships have gone missing, planes have gone missing.
Known as the Devil's Triangle.
A source of intrigue, legend, and fear. This is the Bermuda Triangle.
In the enigmatic waters of the Bermuda Triangle, where navigation compasses spin wildly,
The magnetite alters Hutchings' compass direction by 10 degrees.
emerges the baffling saga of a vanished ship's eerie return. This is the threshold to unraveling the world's most gripping maritime mystery. The Bermuda Triangle, a nautical mystery. The Bermuda Triangle, a term coined by Vincent Gaddis in 1964, refers to the segment of the Atlantic Ocean bordered by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. This loosely defined area, covering approximately 500,000 square miles, is a maritime mystery that has captivated the world for decades. The triangle is notorious not just for its geometric implications, but for the series of inexplicable disappearances of ships and aircraft, leading to a myriad of theories, both scientific and speculative. At the heart of the Bermuda Triangle's mystery is its geographical setting. The area's unique environmental conditions, including deep underwater trenches and the convergence of multiple strong ocean currents, create a setting ripe for navigational challenges. The Sargasso Sea, a region within the triangle, is known for its still waters and massive seaweed beds, further mystifying the area's navigational complexity. The triangle's infamy began to solidify with the loss of the USS Cyclops in 1918, a naval ship that vanished without a trace, along with 306 crew members. This event marked the beginning of a series of disappearances that would include both military and civilian vessels and aircraft. Perhaps the most famous incident is the disappearance of Flight 19 in 1945, a training flight of 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers that lost contact and vanished, leading to the loss of 14 airmen. This incident further cemented the Triangle's mysterious reputation, as the subsequent search and rescue aircraft also disappeared. Theories about the Bermuda Triangle range from the plausible to the fringe. Scientific explanations often cite environmental factors, such as methane hydrates, that can reduce water density and lead to ship sinkings.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
They've done it. Gas bubbles really can sink ships.
Or sudden rogue waves capable of overwhelming even large vessels. Other theories point to magnetic anomalies that confuse navigation instruments, leading to disorientation and loss. On the speculative side, theories have included the presence of the lost city of Atlantis, with its supposed advanced technology interfering with equipment, to extraterrestrial interventions abducting ships and planes for investigation. These theories, while lacking in empirical evidence, have fueled the lore surrounding the triangle, making it a subject of fascination and speculation. Skeptics of the Bermuda Triangle mystery argue that the area does not have a statistically significant higher number of disappearances compared to other heavily traveled regions of the world. They suggest that human error, bad weather, and the high traffic volume in this area are likely explanations for the incidents. Moreover, improvements in navigation technology and search and rescue capabilities have reduced the number of incidents in recent years. The MV Alta saga. The story of the MV Alta reads like a chapter from a maritime mystery novel, enveloping the intrigue of the Bermuda Triangle despite its connection to different waters. This tale of a ghost ship's journey across the Atlantic, its unexplained disappearance and enigmatic reappearance, captures the imagination and stokes the flames of maritime lore. The MV Alta, a 77-meter cargo ship, set sail from Greece in September 2018, destined for Haiti. Laden with goods and hope, her journey was to be like any other across the busy lanes of the Atlantic Ocean. However, fate had a different course charted for the Alta and her crew of 10. In October 2018, while traversing the southeastern Atlantic, the ship encountered mechanical problems, leaving it adrift approximately 380 miles southeast of Bermuda, outside the infamous triangle, but within the clutches of the sea's unpredictability. Stranded in the vast expanse of the ocean, the crew survived for 20 days without external assistance, a testament to their resilience and the provisions they had on board. Their situation grew dire until the U.S. Coast Guard, upon receiving a distress signal, located the vessel on 29 October. A rescue operation was launched, and the crew was evacuated, leaving the MV Alta to the mercy of the Atlantic, her future uncertain, and her whereabouts soon to become a mystery. Following the rescue, the Alta seemingly vanished into the ocean's vastness, eluding detection and defying the odds of maritime navigation. For nearly 2 years, she became a phantom, a ghost ship wandering the seas, unfettered by human command. This period in the Alta's story is shrouded in mystery, with no sightings reported and her fate the subject of speculation. What forces propelled her through the waters and where she roamed remain unanswered questions, adding layers to her legend. In February 2020, the enigma of the MV Alta took a dramatic turn. The Royal Navy's ice patrol ship, HMS Protector, spotted her floating aimlessly in the mid-Atlantic, a solitary figure against the vastness of the ocean. The Alta had traveled over 2,200 miles from her last known location, a journey made without a soul on board. Her reappearance was as mysterious as her disappearance, sparking intrigue and questions. How had she managed to navigate the treacherous waters of the Atlantic for so long unaided? What unseen currents or winds had guided her path? Upon her discovery, the Alta was boarded by a team from the HMS Protector. They found a vessel frozen in time, with personal belongings scattered as if her crew had just stepped away. The ship's logs and navigation equipment provided no clues, the pages of her recent history blank. There were no signs of foul play or immediate distress, just the silent testimony of a ship that had survived the odds. The investigation into the Alta's journey did not yield definitive answers. Theories abounded, from the influence of major ocean currents like the North Atlantic Gyre to the possibility of clandestine salvage attempts gone awry. Yet, the true narrative of her voyage during those lost months remained elusive, tucked away in the depths of the sea's secrets. The saga of the MV Alta culminated with her being towed to the Irish coast after concerns were raised about the hazard she posed to transatlantic traffic. As of the latest reports, her fate remains undecided, with the possibility of scuttling her to create an artificial reef or dismantling her for scrap on the table. Regardless of her physical end, the Alta's story continues to captivate and mystify, a modern tale of the sea's enduring mystery. Historical disappearances, precedents, and parallels. The oceans of the world are vast and mysterious, serving as the backdrop for tales of adventure, horror, and the unexplained. The story of the MV Alta is but one thread in the rich tapestry of maritime lore, echoing earlier tales that have puzzled and fascinated humanity for centuries. Among these are the legendary cases of the Mary Celeste and the Flying Dutchman, each contributing to the enigmatic narrative of the sea's mysteries. The tale of the Mary Celeste remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the sea. In December 1872, this American brigantine was found adrift in the Atlantic Ocean, completely intact and with her cargo untouched. The vessel was in seaworthy condition, yet her crew was nowhere to be found. The ship's log last entry was dated 10 days before her discovery, offering no clues to the fate of those on board. Like the MV Alta, the Mary Celeste was discovered without a soul on board, her journey and the circumstances leading to her abandonment shrouded in mystery. Various theories have been proposed over the years, from mutiny and piracy to the release of fumes from her cargo. Yet, the true story of what happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste remains unsolved, a ghostly narrative that parallels the enigmatic voyage of the MV Alta. The legend of the Flying Dutchman takes a more spectral turn, embodying the very essence of maritime folklore. This ghost ship, doomed to sail the oceans forever, has been sighted numerous times since the 17th century, often considered an omen of doom. According to lore, the ship is captained by a man cursed to navigate the seas for eternity, unable to make port. While the Flying Dutchman is a product of legend rather than a historical event, it represents humanity's fascination with the unexplainable phenomena of the sea. The story has parallels with the MV Alta's unguided journey across the Atlantic, invoking the eerie sense of ships that sail without crews, propelled by unseen forces and bound to an endless voyage. These historical precedents provide a context for understanding the mystery of the MV Alta. The Mary Celeste and the Flying Dutchman are part of a lineage of maritime mysteries that have captivated the human imagination for generations. They serve as reminders of the sea's power, unpredictability, and the thin veil between the known and the unknown. The cases of the Mary Celeste and the MV Alta, despite their different circumstances, share the core element of ships found adrift without their crews. Both stories invoke questions about the fate of those on board and the forces at play in the open sea. They underscore the vulnerability of humans against the vast, often unfathomable power of nature. The legend of the Flying Dutchman, while more mythical, speaks to the human need to personify the sea's mysteries. It embodies the fear and awe that the ocean inspires, as well as the eternal struggle of humanity against forces beyond its control. The tale adds a supernatural dimension to the narrative of ghost ships, enriching the tapestry of maritime lore with its timeless warning. The examination of these precedents and parallels deepens the mystery surrounding the MV Alta and similar cases. It situates the Alta within a historical and cultural framework of unexplained maritime phenomena, linking the present to the past and the tangible to the mythical. These stories, whether grounded in fact or flourished in fiction, highlight the enduring allure of the sea and its secrets. The science of disappearances, the enigma of maritime disappearances, such as that of the MV Alta, often leads to speculation that veers into the realm of the supernatural or extraterrestrial. However, a closer examination grounded in science provides us with plausible, if not entirely satisfying, explanations for these mysteries. These disappearances can often be attributed to a combination of environmental factors, human error, and technological failures, each contributing to the complex interplay of conditions that can lead to a ship's vanishing. The ocean is a dynamic and often hostile environment characterized by its unpredictability. Sudden storms, rogue waves, and powerful currents are capable of overwhelming even the most robust vessels. Rogue waves, once considered maritime myths, have been scientifically validated to exist, towering at over 100 feet and possessing the force to snap a ship's back in two. These natural phenomena can engulf a ship without warning, leaving little evidence of their passing. Additionally, the Bermuda Triangle and similar locales around the world are notorious for their erratic weather patterns and magnetic anomalies. Such conditions can disorient navigators, disrupt electronic equipment, and precipitate disasters. While the Bermuda Triangle's reputation is perhaps inflated by folklore, the environmental dangers it represents are very real and present in many parts of the world's oceans. Human error remains a significant factor in maritime disasters. Navigational errors, poor decision-making in crisis situations, and underestimating weather conditions can lead to catastrophic outcomes. The history of seafaring is replete with tales of ships led astray by flawed charts, misread lighthouses, or simple mistakes in calculation. In the case of the MV Alta, the absence of the crew suggests that a decision may have been made to abandon ship, possibly under duress or in a moment of critical misjudgment. The role of human error is compounded by the isolating nature of the sea, where assistance can be hours, if not days, away. This isolation can exacerbate small issues, turning them into insurmountable challenges. Psychological factors, such as panic or despair, can also play a role, influencing decisions that may seem inexplicable in hindsight, but were made under the extreme stress of imminent disaster. In our age of advanced navigation and communication technologies, it is easy to forget that these tools are not infallible. Equipment failures, from engine breakdowns to GPS malfunctions, can leave a ship vulnerable to the elements and unable to call for help. The dependency on electronic navigation systems has its drawbacks, as a simple failure can render a vessel blind in the middle of an unforgiving sea. Moreover, the corrosion of critical components by salt water, fuel contamination, and electrical fires can incapacitate a ship, leading to situations where the crew is forced to abandon it or perish. The MV Alta's journey across the ocean without her crew raises questions about the state of her technological health and whether a cascade of failures might have led to her ghostly voyage. The disappearance of ships like the MV Alta cannot usually be attributed to a single cause, but rather to a confluence of factors. Environmental conditions may set the stage for a disaster that is precipitated by human error and sealed by technological failure. This interplay creates a perfect storm of conditions under which a ship can vanish, leaving behind a mystery that, even with scientific explanations, retains a hint of the unfathomable. The science behind maritime disappearances provides us with logical explanations, but also highlights the limitations of our understanding and mastery of the sea. Despite advances in technology and navigation, the ocean remains a formidable and sometimes inscrutable adversary. It is a reminder of our vulnerability in the face of nature's vast and untamed forces. Ireland's coastline, a new mystery. The ghostly reappearance of the MV Alta on Ireland's rugged southern coast in February 2020, after nearly a year and a half adrift on the Atlantic, presented a new chapter in the unfolding mystery of maritime disappearances. This event not only captivated public attention, but also sparked a flurry of investigations and theories attempting to piece together the vessel's enigmatic journey across the Atlantic. The MV Alta's sudden presence on the shores of County Cork was as startling as it was unexpected. Local authorities and maritime agencies were quickly mobilized to secure the site and ensure the vessel posed no immediate environmental hazard. The sight of the abandoned cargo ship, with no crew aboard and in relatively good condition, sparked a wave of speculation and intrigue among the local population and the wider international community. The initial reaction was one of disbelief, quickly followed by curiosity about the ship's origins and how it had managed to traverse the Atlantic unmanned. The MV Alta became an instant media sensation, with images of the forlorn vessel against the backdrop of Ireland's dramatic coastline circulating globally. This event not only highlighted the mysterious allure of ghost ships, but also underscored the interconnectedness of global maritime routes and the shared intrigue of nations when faced with such enigmas. The Irish Coast Guard and the Receiver of Wreck initiated thorough investigations to trace the MV Alta's movements and to understand the circumstances that led to its arrival. These efforts involved combing through satellite data, maritime logs, and international shipping records to reconstruct the vessel's trajectory. The investigations aimed to answer pressing questions. Why was the ship abandoned? How had it remained afloat for so long without detection? What forces had guided its path to Ireland? Simultaneously, environmental assessments were conducted to evaluate the potential threat the ship posed to the local ecosystem and to devise a plan for its removal or salvage. the condition of the MV Alta suggested that, despite its long journey, the ship had not suffered catastrophic structural failure. This resilience added another layer of intrigue to the investigation, pointing towards the possibility of a well-built vessel capable of withstanding the harsh conditions of the Atlantic. As details emerged from the investigations, so too did a range of theories about the MV Alta's journey. Some speculated that a combination of prevailing ocean currents and winds had passively guided the ship across the Atlantic, acting as an unseen hand in its voyage. Oceanographers pointed to the North Atlantic Gyre, a large system of circulating currents, as a potential conveyor for the ship's drift from its last known position near Bermuda to the Irish coast. Another theory focused on the possibility of human intervention at some point in the vessel's odyssey. Could the MV Alta have been towed or guided part of the way before being abandoned again? The absence of the crew led to speculation about their fate and whether they had been rescued or transferred to another vessel, leaving the MV Alta to its lonely voyage. Maritime historians drew parallels with historical incidents of ghost ships, suggesting that the MV Alta's story was the latest in a long lineage of maritime mysteries. Each theory offered a piece of the puzzle, yet no single explanation could fully account for the ship's journey. The truth, it seemed, lay somewhere between the realms of known maritime science and the mysteries of the sea. The MV Alta's arrival on Ireland's coastline has added a contemporary chapter to the lore of ghost ships and maritime mysteries. The investigations and theories surrounding its journey reflect the human fascination with the unknown and the unexplained. While some questions may eventually be answered by ongoing research and analysis, others are likely to remain the subject of speculation and intrigue. The human element. Life aboard disappeared ships. The stories of ships like the MV Alta vanished without a trace, only to reappear under mysterious circumstances, evoke not only curiosity about the physical journey, but also about the human experiences aboard these vessels. The life and challenges faced by crews on such voyages are fraught with peril, isolation, and the constant battle against the elements, painting a vivid picture of the psychological and physical demands of maritime life. Life at sea is inherently isolating, with the vast ocean separating the crew from the rest of the world. This isolation is more than just physical. It extends into the psychological realm, where the endless expanse of water can evoke feelings of insignificance and vulnerability. Crew members aboard disappeared ships like the MV Alta would have faced this isolation daily, their only connection to the outside world being intermittent communications and the companionship of their fellow sailors. Despite the isolation, daily life aboard these vessels follows a strict routine, essential for maintaining morale and ensuring the smooth operation of the ship. This routine includes shifts on watch, maintenance duties, navigation checks, and the preparation of meals. The rhythm of life at sea is dictated by the demands of the vessel and the environment, with little room for deviation. This structured existence provides a sense of stability and normalcy amidst the unpredictability of the ocean. The psychological impact of extended sea voyages can be profound. The constant exposure to the elements, the monotonous landscape, and the pressure of maintaining the ship's course can wear down even the most seasoned sailors. The mystery of disappeared ships adds another layer of psychological strain, as crew members grapple with the fear of becoming another unsolved maritime mystery. The mental health of sailors on such voyages is a critical aspect of life at sea, often overshadowed by the physical challenges, but equally important. The close quarters of ship life foster a unique bond among crew members, a camaraderie born of shared experiences and mutual dependence for survival. This brotherhood is the lifeline that sustains morale and cohesion when the sea tests their limits. However, the intense environment can also exacerbate tensions, turning minor irritations into significant conflicts. Managing these dynamics is crucial for maintaining harmony and ensuring the collective well-being of the crew. Crews on disappeared ships embarked on their journeys, aware of the risks, but perhaps not fully prepared for the reality of vanishing without a trace. The uncertainty of what lies ahead, the possibility of never returning home, and the fear of becoming a ghost story weigh heavily on their minds. These sailors face the unknown with a mixture of resilience, hope, and an unspoken understanding of the sea's power to both give and take away. The tales of ships like the MV Alta and their crews contribute to the rich tapestry of maritime history, serving as a reminder of the human element in these mysteries. The stories of life aboard these vessels, the challenges faced, and the courage displayed in the face of adversity add depth to our understanding of maritime disappearances. They remind us that behind every lost ship is a crew of individuals who lived, worked, and hoped amidst the vastness of the ocean. The human element of disappeared ships encompasses the full spectrum of maritime life, from the mundane realities of daily routine to the profound psychological challenges of isolation and fear. These stories underscore the resilience and vulnerability of those who venture into the unknown, offering a poignant glimpse into the lives of sailors who navigate not just the physical space of the sea, but also its psychological depths. In exploring these human experiences, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity of maritime mysteries, rooted not just in the mechanics of navigation and survival, but in the hearts and minds of those who sail the seas.